bringing you the latest news from Lubbock Cooper Athletics. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We are in the home stretch. Lubbock Cooper's hitting cleanup, so that means they get me for 30 minutes. Or maybe I should say I get them for 30 minutes. They may want to walk out at some point. I'm not sure. That's going to be the last segment of the show for 2025. We'll be back January 5th. Be back on schedule then. We run through the schedule that we have after Thanksgiving again. Wednesday nights like tonight are going to be Lubbock High, Coronado, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Monday nights are Estacado, Monterey, Memorial, and Liberty, 6 to 7:30 p.m. We'll have a lot of basketball to talk about. We talked a little bit of wrestling tonight. Talked to Richard Leal, who Reggie got to know for the last couple of years at Lubbock High. Pretty powerhouse program in wrestling at Lubbock High. Lubbock Cooper's got a pretty decent. Yeah, we'll have to see if you guys have had to help put the mats out yet. I always thought that's something to watch when they're going from one sport to the other. If you're watching on TV, you see Reggie Flemons. I put you guys together. I'm going to let them introduce themselves so I don't get this wrong since we're on radio too.
Will Flemons and Reggie Gibbs.
So not Will Gibbs and Reggie Flemons. But I will say this, watching you guys coach the other day, it's become like that. Do you have to talk to the referees before the game and explain? There's going to be a couple of them talking to you.
It's funny because I think in the second half, we really, got going, and the refs goes, "Coach, we can only have one of you standing up at a time." So I was like, "Hey, you can stand up here. I'm gonna sit back down, and then you can get back up." So
exactly,
it works out. It works out.
I've never understood that. Coaches want to get excited, and they've got stuff to say. I mean, you watch Texas Tech. Grant's up, and the guy from Wyoming.
I can't remember.
I can't think of his name. He's not sitting still.
Well, not at all.
Now, I've seen other times when you do. Probably, if I'm a referee, I probably would want just one guy when things get. But whatever you guys are doing is working because you're now 7-7, 2-0 in district. Have Caprock at home Friday. You guys have gotten better. I watched your game against Coronado, and you said before the game their athleticism had your attention. They're scrappy. Lee will say that they're not quite. They haven't figured out how to kind of put that in a bottle yet, but. They were scary. They got, I know in the third or fourth quarter, they got within one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, fourth quarter. I mean, Lee does a good job. And like I said, he's got some athletes, and they kind of found a groove. And his shooter that's been, struggling a little bit, got into a little bit of groove. We had to change up some defensive schemes to help us pull it out. But, everybody in this district is going to play hard. We know that. And so we just got to, from start to finish, we got to finish the game.
Reggie, it was when I watched you when you were at Lubbock High, I was always sitting across from you, so I couldn't appreciate your coaching as much as sitting next to you. He probably doesn't like where I sit all the time. I know Kyle Lovren used to come out and look at me and be like, he's right there. Because I can hear things. I don't. I pay attention to what I'm doing. But what's it been like for you getting back into the district from a different perspective?
It's been fun. I'm not going into it as a head coach, but I still do a lot of the scout, and it's been fun looking down and asking Coach Flemons, "Hey, Coach, what do you think about this?" And he goes, "Hey, go run with it." And I'm like, "Okay." I just want to check with you, but it's been fun. I've had a lot of time. Being able to just focus on the scouting aspect of it, where Will has to do the head coaching aspect of it, the other intangibles that head coaches take care of, and a lot of people don't know about. And I've had a lot of time just to be able to sit down and break down film, and as he's doing the other intangibles, I'm in his ear. "Hey man, you need to look at this. Watch this coach, and he trusts me that it's going to get done, and I want to do a good job for him, to make sure the job is done. So a lot of that pressure is off his back. But it's been really fun being able to talk to the kids, be around the kids, and they are starting to get used to my style of coaching. And he's a little different than I am, and I'm a little different than he is, and they're starting to get used to it and really starting to play well with how we're coaching them up.
You guys are a three-headed monster. Because Corey Lynch has been a head coach in a different environment. Now, you've been in small school. Reggie asked, I want you to answer this. This popped up on Facebook. Who did you take to state 10, 15 years ago?
It was Brookshire Royal.
And that's a small school, too.
Well, we were 4A at the time. Yes, sir.
A little bit different than almost 6. Well, I shouldn't say. Lubbock Cooper's shrunk a little bit. But
Yes.
You guys all have that experience with different kinds of basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I think that's unique because Corey can sit there and look at things from his perspective, and I don't think he got up. He sat there and talked to me because he was cold as heck the other day in your gym as well. Max, if you're listening, it's not just Will. There were icicles coming off my nose by the end of that game. But he also coaches. I know it's been different to have Reggie, but Corey's been around for a while. You've been so many different places. How do you kind of balance all that?
Well, the best thing about this coaching stuff is we're not filled with ego. We want to do what's best for the kids, and it's nothing for us to come in and we're meeting just like watching film and say, hey, we need to run a drill like this and that. Who has a better drill? Is this best for the kids or this is best for the kids? And we're going to go with what's best for the kids. It's not always my idea, his idea, or Coach Lynch's or Coach Schulte's. It's whoever has the best ideas. Best deal for the kids, and that's what we go with. And that's a unique deal. I think I texted the guys last night after we played Plainview. I said, hey, great staff. I love y'all. Y'all do a tremendous job, and it's true. I don't have to worry about looking at my shoulder. Are they doing their job doing this? Is this guy doing what he need to do? We're all pitching in together, and it's a team thing.
I know you coached against each other the last several years. Had you ever coached against Corey when he was?
Never did.
Paducah and Panhandle.
They run across each other like not in basketball per se, but in like volleyball and the other sports.
I came loose. Lost audio there.
So, but no, I never had an opportunity to.
And Corey's out of sons.
He is.
That didn't hurt either.
No,
when he's got some big beefy kids to throw out
yes,
there.
Sir.
The Pirates, as I mentioned, host Caprock normal time on Friday, 7:30.
No, it's varsity plays at 5:30. We moved it back a little bit so we can get it done a little sooner.
Yeah, but it's boys, girls, and doubleheader, and then interesting game next week.
Yes, it is.
Have Reggie give you directions on how to get there. If they play at Lubbock High, and I know I've got the times. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're in the Pirate Fan Zone. We'll be back after this break on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Lubbock Cooper athletics. You're listening to the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the second segment of the Pirate Fan Zone. I mentioned that the Pirates play Caprock on Friday. I'm glad that I asked there. I'm going to have to change that on my schedule, but I want to find it, see if this other time I've got right. Next Tuesday, right before Christmas, Lubbock Cooper goes to Lubbock High. I've got that for 1 p.m. for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, so that one I had right. Reggie, you spent a good chunk of your last few years there, coached a lot of those guys. They know you, you know them. Have you ever coached against a former team?
Yes, because I left Caprock.
There we go. So you're used to this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't think about it too much. You go and say hello to those guys before the game. They say hello to you. How quick do you have to click into what you've got to do, I guess, Tuesday afternoon?
Really hadn't thought about it, because like I said, we got off the floor last night, got on the bus, and I started talking to Will about Caprock.
There you go.
And we know it's coming. We talked about, these next two games and being able to go into Christmas closing out on a high note. But, yeah, it's, I guess once it gets here, it's, I got to know they're on the other bench now. And, the thing about it is they know my tendencies and I know their tendencies. And it's just whoever executes the best. Jose's got those guys playing really well. They play hard, but they've always played hard,
Yep.
So, we just got to make sure our guys are locked in and be ready to go on Tuesday.
I said this the other night. Ernie Mims used to hate playing you guys after they played Monterey because his guys would put all their eggs into that basket with Monterey, and then you guys would come out and just play hard. Yeah. And he said, "I'm terrified of that. They're going to find a way. They're going to hurt us this way, and you guys beat them twice."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I thought so. One of them you may have semi-knocked them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that was. Well, I can't remember what year was that, but yeah,
yep.
It was back and forth, and we we say the last one standing. We're going to run and see who catches up with us. And that game was up and down, up and down, up and down. And, you know, we would steal their runs and kind of hit a couple of baskets late and, you know, ended up pulling that game out.
You kind of nonchalantly said you coached at Caprock. You had really good teams at Caprock.
Yes,
the first time I ever saw you coach, this is probably not the best memory, was Monterey.
Yes, sir.
To go to the regional tournament, correct?
Yes, sir.
Up in Canyon.
Yes, sir.
That was a really good team. You had some guys and you had them playing well. So I think people may forget that you had a really good run there up there with the Longhorns.
Yes, sir. They were, you know, that was the third time we played Monterey. And that was my worst nightmare. You know, I was like, I sure hope we don't have to play these guys again. It happened, but, you know, I was blessed. You know, I was lucky, fell into a gold mine there and had some really, really good kids that played hard, you know, and had a little success there, yeah.
Did you cross paths with Seth Parr there, or had he already?
He had already left, yeah.
Because Seth, deservedly so, I think, gets a lot of credit for kind of restoring some pride at Caprock across the board. Have you ever coached against a former team, Will?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have.
Because the one guy that I know you know well that I know enjoyed was James Dickey.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting to do the scouting report for Oklahoma State against Texas Tech. And he downplayed it. I texted him afterwards, and he downplayed it. But you could see walking off the floor, his shoulders were pretty high, and he enjoyed that.
No doubt. It's special. Just hearing what Reggie's talked about, and that type of thing. Anytime you get an opportunity to coach a kid and pour into that kid, I mean, you're gonna feel for those kids. At the same time, you got a job to do, and you got another set of kids. What are you gonna do for those kids? So it's special, and we just get after it.
You had somebody else that coached those guys along with Reggie.
My son.
So he knows those guys well.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. Colin and I would I shouldn't be saying this on the air, but we'd always have a bet. Say if one of us win, we had to take the other ones out for dinner. And so I was very fortunate the last couple of games that he took me out.
I need to get you to teach me that trick. I've never had either of my daughters buy me dinner yet. One's 26 and one's about to be 18, so it may be a while. That is how Lubbock Cooper closes out the pre-Christmas schedule. What you play? You're not in the Caprock. You play Clovis on the 2nd.
No, on the 30th.
30th, okay. So you play them before New Year's, and is it here this year, or you go over there?
We still go over there because we have the Caprock here. We don't have enough gyms,
yeah,
so we go over there.
Now, Jaden helped set that up, or were you already?
Well, actually, we were looking. James Reich and I were looking, and we're like, okay, this district is so big, we got to give our guys some rest in between, and so they just happened to put it out there, and we grabbed it.
And Clovis has a little bit of tradition. Had a guy named Bubba that played and coached. Played. So Bubba Jennings, of course. We're going back with one more segment of the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta. Come back after the break.
Your inside look into Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the final segment of the Pirate Fan Zone. We were reminiscing there about a former Lubbock Cooper coach, a guy named Steve Gomez, I think he's found his calling.
Yeah, I think so.
he's doing all right. How does he won 3 national championships across town here?
3, and then I know one of them was undefeated, and one was only lost like 1 or 2 games. I mean, so he's doing well. I think he's doing well.
I think Brennan, our producer here tonight, knows that well. He's a radio guy. He was at the time. When you were at Texas Tech as a player, that would have been John Copeland. I'm trying to think who the women's coach would have been back then.
Who was the women's coach? I don't even remember.
I know Jimmy Moore was the women's coach at one point. Now, Jimmy Moore he's not an Estacado contemporary with you, is he?
No, he's a Morton High School.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I know when he was coaching at Estacado when I got here, when the great Lewis Kelly was still there, that Jimmy would tell me some stories about Lewis. I heard a lot of stories about Lewis. Good stories, don't get me wrong. A lot of great stories about Lewis. But Jimmy's a great dude as well. Was very, very kind when I lost my father-in-law. John Copeland, I'm going to guess you spent some practice time with John coaching you guys up a little bit when he got bored.
He did. Him and Coach Dickey were great friends.
Rodeo buddies.
Oh, every Thursday. They go out and they rope. But Coach Copeland, known him a long time, and he would get me to come to his practices, and we'd go over post move with LCU guys. And so, I mean, it's just kind of back and forth, and he would come to our practice and try to, he was really good at the motion and giving us little tidbits in. So it was a great relationship.
Reggie, back in your high school days, was John Copeland there then? Did he try to get you to stay in town?
Oh, yes, sir, he did. That's probably one of my mistakes. I probably should have stayed in town, but now much direction there. I thought I was a D1 player. But, yeah, I used to go out and play with those guys all the time. He had some real heavy hitters out there, Mark Peters and I can't remember most of it. Steve actually was playing out there when I'd go out there and play. He'd go out there and play with those guys. But, yeah, he had some heavy hitters out there when I was in school, yeah.
So you had great coaches and great programs back then. The arenas weren't necessarily the best of them.
That hangar was cold.
Hey, I tell you one thing I always remember about Steve. Man, he's going to take a charge.
Even in pickup games.
I'm telling you, you have to be very alert when you play with this.
I don't know that I've ever in a pickup game.
Oh, yes.
And did he call it immediately?
Oh, he knew it. You knew it. I mean, he was there. You're like, oh. He's good at it.
I know Reagan Lee that plays for him now, that her mom is a Lubbock Cooper graduate, was incredible in high school. This is going to sound wrong. You coach girls, so you know what I'm saying. That's not something girls necessarily embrace.
Right. Absolutely.
Reagan Lee would get in front of me or you and not think about it. So there's a reason she plays for him. That's a perfect fit. And his players, to me, he's basically Marcia 2.0. He's found a way to keep those West Texas girls here, and that's one reason they've got those banners hanging up there.
That's pretty nice.
Saw Marcia the other day. Marcia was at the Wayland Baptist game. Her and Krista. There was a picture of the current Wayland coach who took a picture of me. She was just starry-eyed. So that's being a former Wayland coach, you understand when royalty walks in.
Yes, you do.
It was their afternoon game that they play at this time of year. That's always a kind of a big deal. Reggie, we got to figure out. I know some Louisiana Tech people. We're going to have to figure out if I know some of those folks. Let's get back with your guys again. The first time I saw you, you just started district, and you said you didn't know exactly where you were. You're still playing a lot of guys.
Yes, sir.
And I asked you afterwards, because that's the first time I've seen you play that many guys. Is that something you want to keep doing, or are you going to kind of figure out what you want to do here?
I think right now we're in a special spot because we got some guys, we got some depth, and we got some guys that are interchangeable. Like I said, we're young in some spots, but we got some experience in others, and it's kind of meshing in right now. The biggest deal right now we're trying to sell them on, and they're doing a pretty decent job, is you may be in there 2-3 minutes. Leave it all out there. Don't come back with half your tank still on the left and the sideline. Leave it all out there. You never know when your number is going to be called. And I think they're starting to buy into that. And so that's helping us on the depth department because we can interchange and we're not dropping off very much.
We're heading towards the finish line here, but the two kids who, and all your guys, I know a lot of them from different sports, but the two guys who jumped off the screen for me, I was sitting there watching, it wasn't off the screen, but Ian Urrutia, is that how you say it?
Yes.
And the big man, Tyler Hitt. You guys have had good big men, but he just looks a little different.
He's getting better. That's the thing. He's getting a lot better. We work every day posting guards. And, again, he wants to learn. He wants to get better. And that's the thing. You know how that is. When you have players that think they've already arrived, you can't teach them anything. He's willing. He's got an open heart, open mind, and he's willing to try to do what we ask him to do. So that's a big plus. I'm
going to butcher this kid's name. Ian reminds me of you played against him, the guard that Paul Page had at Friendship for a few years, Armani Gakanika,
yes.
The Greek kid. He reminds me a lot of him where if you need him to shoot, he'll shoot, but if he's going to do all those little dirty work things.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. You know, the biggest deal on Ian, I mean, he's very skilled, but we need him to talk more. He's one of the quietest guys. We're like, you got to talk when you play. So that's one of the things we're working constantly on him. But shooting wise and skill wise, he's got that.
We're coming up at the end here. This is the last show before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everybody from the Fan Zone. Merry Christmas from HubCityPreps.com. Merry Christmas from these two guys over here.
Merry Christmas.
Will Gibbs, Reggie Gibbs. We'll be back January 5th on the High School Fan Zone.